All right, guys, so what's going on? Today, I want to answer a question, and that question is, are you committing fraud if you got too much money for the PPP program? Let's talk about it. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Jonathan Moore. I'm a photographer, filmmaker, and a creative entrepreneur who likes to make videos like these for other photographers, filmmakers, and creative entrepreneurs out there who are trying to build a life on their terms and get it how they live. So if that sounds like something that you're into, check out some of the other videos that I have on my channel about photography, filmmaking, and what it's like to be a full-time freelancer. So as of the last couple of weeks, it has been a firestorm. People have been trying to figure out, do I apply for PPP? Do I apply for unemployment? Can I get them both? You also got the EIDL. If you're watching this video, I'm sure you are familiar with all of these programs, and you probably still have a lot of questions, as we all do. Now, prior, I just made a video that talked about how you can get forgiveness on your loan for the sole proprietor, self-employed, independent contractor. So that's all my Uber, my Lyft, my gig economy people out there. And after making that video, I made another video talking about, can you apply for unemployment and a PPP at the same time? So there's been a lot of questions about it. In that previous video, I give you my strategy on what I plan on doing, but I also got some interesting comments and questions in that video. So I want to address some of those right now. One of the common questions that I got, or comments that I was seeing, was that people who were applying for the PPP loan program were getting approved for loans, but they weren't getting the loans specifically the right way. So what I mean when I say that is that in order to determine your max PPP loan amount, it goes off of your line 31 on your 2019 tax returns. Now, your line 31 is your net profits. But when this program first started, it was a lot of chaos. It was a lot of pandemonium. There wasn't a lot of clarification. There wasn't a lot of rules. There wasn't a lot of guidelines. And it was up to us to self-certify the amount that we were requesting. Initially, there was some confusion on what you can and you couldn't include to request your loan or to come up with your loan amount. So as time goes on, the SBA and the Treasury has continued to bring changes and further guidelines and clarification to some of the rules, which isn't always fair because they're constantly moving the target on us. Some people had told me that they got their PPP loan based off of their 1099s, which was their gross amount. They didn't go off of the net profit amount. Some of them had told me that also they had showed a certain gross amount, but when they go to file their taxes for 2019, they're going to show a net loss. Now, in my mind, this is potentially problematic. First and foremost, if you have a loss on your 2019 tax returns, you're not eligible for the PPP program. So that's number one. The next problem is when it comes to the forgiveness portion of the loan. Now, the SBA and the Treasury have come out with a formula for the self-employed and the sole proprietors to follow that's going to determine your automatic forgiveness amount. This is known as owner compensation replacement. But when it comes to the self-employed and the sole proprietor, a lot of us, or most of us, or some of us, don't have business bank accounts. Now, I suggest that you do set up a business bank account, even if you are a sole proprietor, but it's not always required. So then the question becomes, right, is like, how do we determine, like, how do we prove that we paid ourselves? And that's the good thing about the SBA and the Treasury coming out with that loan forgiveness formula. But when it comes to the actual time to forgive your loans, right, or to apply for forgiveness, some of the questions that are surrounding that are, what documents am I going to need? And my guess, you're probably going to need your 2019 taxes, all right, and your Schedule C, and you're going to have to be going off of that line 31 because that is what the SBA and the Treasury has created this whole formula around to determine your loan forgiveness. So this could be problematic if when you originally filed for your loan, you went off of your gross instead of your net. And then if you're showing that you have a net of negative, then you probably won't be able to get any of the loan forgiven, unfortunately. Is this going to be problematic, or are you going to be seen as committing fraud? I really don't know. I mean, I guess only time will tell. And the tricky part is that if this is problematic, or maybe it is, you falsely claimed this money, then the question in my mind is, will you still have the same loan forgiveness period as everybody else who's requesting for forgiveness, who didn't falsely attain the funds. So for the rest of us who didn't falsely attain the funds, you have that 2-year loan repayment period at the 1% interest with the 6 months of deferred payments. So if you were falsely categorized, or you were deemed as you falsely attained the funds, or maybe it was seen as fraudulent, or whatever the case may be, the question is are you still going to get that same loan forgiveness period, or are they going to request the funds back all at once? Now, the answer is I really don't know. And I hope that they don't do that. But if I were you and I attained the funds in that type of manner where I went off of my gross and I didn't go off of my net and I got more than I was supposed to, then basically I would reach out to your bank. I would reach out to your lender, a CPA, or some type of tax strategist, somebody who is a professional in this field who can help give you a little bit more guidance and clarity. I would like to say that you're going to be okay and it's going to be all good, but in all honesty, I don't know. I've heard people saying that they were just going to keep the money, or they're not going to request forgiveness and then just let it turn into a repayment period how it's supposed to be. Now, you can do that. You can take your chances with that. Just don't request forgiveness and then just let it turn into a loan and then repay it. But at the same time, it's like, I get that it's cheap money, but also it's like, why even do it? You know, especially if you're getting a loan amount that can be comparable to unemployment, right? Because with unemployment, you don't have to pay that back. With the PPP, you are going to pay that back, even if it is cheap money. So that's just my thoughts on it. I don't know what you guys are going to do. You can let me know in the comments. Like I said, I've had a couple people who've told me that they acquired a PPP loan going off of just their gross, but when they go to file their 2019 taxes, it's going to show a loss. I don't know how problematic that can be. It is all federal. It's from the government. So I don't know how easily they'll be able to connect the dots. And I don't know if you're going to be put in a category where they're saying that you falsely attain the funds. Hopefully not. Hopefully you can just hold on to the money and then just pay it back over that 2-year period. So that's it for me today, guys. Hopefully you found this video useful. If so, give me a like, drop me a comment, let me know what's going on. Did you get the funds? Did you wrongly get the funds? Do you think you wrongly got the funds? Or, you know, what's going on with you and your business right now? So to all my people out there who are trying to build a life on their terms and get it how they live, this is your man, Jonathan Moore, and I'm signing out. Peace.